Hello everyone. Thank you for stopping by and checking this video out. I have a question to everyone who's watching this video. Should we listen and obey Jesus' words? Or should we listen and believe watchtower leaders, the governing body? Because Jesus says one thing and watchtower twist Jesus' words to confuse and corrupt all Jehovah's Witnesses all over the world. And I can prove this from John 6, and you can start with verse 31 and go all the way down to 71. Jesus and his disciples was in a synagogue where a bunch of the high priests that was in the synagogue. Jesus told them and his 12 disciples plus the other disciples, which if you look at the evidence about the other disciples, you can classify them as Jehovah's Witnesses, because they did exactly what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing every year on the memorial night. So let's continue. Jesus told them that he was the living bread from heaven, which some of them saying that Moses gave us bread from heaven. No, the Father gave the manna to the Israelites, not Moses. And Jesus clarified that. So when he told them that they must eat his flesh and drink his blood if they want life, because he is given his blood and his body for all mankind, which some of the leaders was complaining, how can we eat his flesh and drink his blood? Was Jesus talking about his little body and his blood? We know when he was crucified, no one ate his flesh or drank his blood. He gave his life, and his blood was poured out from him for all mankind. So what was the teaching? He was telling everybody that you must eat his flesh and drink his blood. This caused confusion among the disciples, and some of them was complaining they don't understand what this meaning was about. And he asked them, did this stumble you? What happened if you see the Son of Man going back into heaven? And these disciples left, and they follow him no more. Then he turns around as his 12 disciples that was with him from the beginning and asks them, do you want to leave too? Of course, Peter said, to whom should we go? You have the words of everlasting life. And they know he was the Son of the Father in heaven. So his disciples, other disciples, would stumble. Just like Jehovah's Witnesses today, and just over less than a week, they are stumbled too. Because Watchtower forced them to reject Jesus' body and his blood by passing the plate and the glass to one person, to another person, to another person. And if you are lucky to be part of the anointed class, which does a bunch of nonsense, which I encourage you to watch my last video that I made, how they twisted Paul's words to make a new class for Christians that the Bible does not talk about. Yes, there is 144,000, but people, if you look at the tribes mentioned, the 12,000 of each tribe, they are part of Israel, not Jehovah's Witnesses. There's no Jehovah's Witnesses from the tribe of Judah, and the other 11 tribes. None of them. You cannot call yourself spiritual, anointed Israelites when you're not even the real deal. The DNA would prove who's a Jew, who's part of the other tribes, by the DNA. And Jehovah's Witnesses, take your DNA test, find out how much DNA you have in your body before you keep believing Watchtower's nonsense and lies. As a Jehovah's Witness, I remember passing the Elmans. It was only, and I'm just guessing, maybe about 4 years ago when I started partaking the emblems, because I didn't want to reject Jesus' words when he was talking about the invitation of taking his body and his blood. Now, here's a thought, people, and I want you really, really concentrate on this, okay? Did Jesus, from I mentioned was John 6, go to start with 31, go all the way down to 71. Did Jesus ever mention in those paragraphs that by taking the emblems you would go to heaven? No, he did not. Did he mention that by not taking the emblems, you will be living here on earth forever? No, because his words was what he said to all of them at that time. By not taking the flesh and the blood, you have no life in you. So that means no Jehovah's Witnesses, the ones who did not take part of the memorial, and the ones that think they are going to heaven to be with Jesus. Now, those are the ones, my opinion, that is taking the emblems unworthy, because they think Jesus was telling them that they would go to heaven if they take the bread, the unleavened bread, and the wine, they would go to heaven. But Jesus never said that. He never said that people, if you want to go to heaven, take part of the memorial, which he opened the doors to his disciples, and from the disciples were spreading the memorial through Jerusalem and all of that. And they had Paul, or even Jesus probably told Paul to do this, to remembrance of him. He died. That was the bread. He poured out his blood. That was the wine. Are we supposed to listen to 8 men who have no Bible knowledge? They are not Bible scholars. They are men that no difference, like Jim Baker and many others and other false religions, keeping you from gaining everlasting life by not rejecting what Jesus commanded those people in that synagogue. He didn't give them a 2-class system. Some of you want to go to heaven, go ahead and partake. But the ones who reject, I guarantee you're going to be living on paradise. This is not Jesus' words. If you want to argue with me on that, turn to John 6, start with 31, go all the way down to 71. Show me in any of the scriptures, Jesus says, if you don't take, you will live forever on paradise earth. Or if you partake, you will be with me in heaven. Now, are we supposed to believe Jesus' words or Watchtower's leaders' words? One's truth and the other's everlasting destruction. Or in this case, blind men and their flock is following them over the edge of the cliff and go straight down to everlasting destruction. We cannot serve God and serve the governing body. We can't stop believing in Jesus because we got 8 men telling us to not to believe in Jesus' words. Now, people, the choice is yours. Why do you think I make these videos? Why do you think I left Watchtower? Because the leaders is nothing but scumbags. Is after the almighty dollar. It doesn't matter how they get that dollar. If it's taking the shoes off your feet, the clothes off your body, your homes, your cars, your jewelry, your money. They don't care about your life. And they don't even care about their lives. Because if they did, they would stop teaching these lies and start teaching the real truth. Of course, they're probably going to lose 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses if they do that. But at least that would open the doors for the leaders to do the right thing and stop misguided, misleading Jehovah's Witnesses. Jesus knew his own words, and we cannot twist his words. If he opened the gate for us to go in, and he invited us to be on his side, to be his sons and his daughters, without us jumping hoops to get to him from the governing body. The Bible teaches there's only one shepherd, one gate. It does not teach 8 men and telling Jesus to open up the gate for all the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's all they're doing, telling Jesus to open the gates for Jehovah's Witnesses when this religion is so corrupt. It's a cult masking itself as a Christian religion. Protecting pedophiles, lying to members for false prophecies of Armageddon. So I got something to ask. Is it new light getting brighter when all these pedophiles are getting more and more destructive of forcing children to be or to do what they want to be? Nothing has changed. If this whole religion, the light's getting brighter, why is there so much pedophiles in this religion? If the elders are chosen by God, then who encourage these elders to become pedophiles? Think about that. That would be encouragement from Satan. When Jesus told his disciples for no one to harm these children? Is Watchtower leaders protecting the children? No. Did they change their policy to protect the children for their stupid nonsense two-witness rule and use it to protect pedophiles? People, there are so many people are leaving Jehovah's Witnesses, and they are making their own stories, telling how they woke up, what caused them to stumble, and the choices they had to leave their loved ones to serve Jesus. Now, Watchtower forced Jehovah's Witnesses to be part of the black mass, just like Satanism. People who is in Satan cult that takes the emblems and just pass it, just like Jehovah's Witnesses. Rejecting Christ's body, rejecting Christ's blood. So who is in control of this organization or this so-called religion? It's Satan. Not Jesus, not his Father, Satan. So the choice is yours. Which one are you going to listen to? In John 6, start with 31 to 71. Are you going to add words in there to say, oh, Jesus is saying if you don't eat, you will live here on earth. Or if you eat, you'll go to heaven. It's not there, people. If you read it once, read it again. Read it again. I guarantee you, once or twice or third time, you will not find the lies of Watchtower. You will not find the lies of Jehovah's Witnesses for Watchtower. So, thank you for stopping by, and I hope this video will open your eyes and get you start thinking. Truth is from the Bible, not from Jehovah's Witnesses, not from their leaders. Thank you. Y'all have a nice week. Bye for now.